Good evening, Fresno Athletic fans. Play-by-play announcer Jarrett Smith. We're coming to you live from Chancey Park with the series ender between the Fresno A's and the Alameda Anchors. And let me tell you, before we get into action, I am hot-blooded and I'm checking to see Fresno's got a fever of 103. My goodness, it is hot, hot, hot today, and that is how hot it got here, 103. Right now, hovering around 100 to 101. Thankfully, we got shade on the field, but either way, it's the kind of heat that will make you sweat in the shade. So Anchors took the first game of this series on Friday, 6-4 win for them, and that game was really characterized by just one inning, an explosive 6-run third inning for the Anchors. And as for the Athletics, they were able to come up with 4 runs in the 6th inning, but that was all she wrote on Friday. As for Saturday, the Athletics were able to chip away pretty well throughout the game, scoring 1 run in each of the first 3 innings and getting a few more throughout. Ended up being too much to overcome for the Anchors on the day. Athletics were able to make more out of their advantage and get the win 6-2 yesterday. Honestly, feels like 2 days ago with us playing yesterday morning and then playing this evening. But in the meantime, the A's were able to come to the ballpark today and enjoy a Grizzlies game at 1 p.m. It was really nice to have the team and the staff out there. And speaking of a team out here at Chancey Park, we got Hanford Little League in the house. 9-year-old team and all-stars came out on the field to meet the players, sign autographs, and even play catch before the game. So that leads us into tonight, and really nothing else to say. It is time to get going here, and Zach Geis will be leading things for the Athletics on the mound. It is his 5th start of the season, and task number 1 for him is Zach Ragland to start things out. First pitch of the game called ball 1-0. So for Geis, 29 innings pitched on the year. He's credited with 1 win, 1 loss. And that one misses low, 2-0. Giving up 17 runs total, 12 of those being earned, 29 punch outs to 12 free passes, and a bit of an inflated ERA, 5.28, and batting average against a bit higher than he'd like at 284. Tough start for him so far on the bump as he is behind 3-0 to Ragland. Ragland for the series batting very well against the A's, 3 for 6 across those 2 games. Back in the leadoff spot as he was in Friday's game. Strike called there for Geis to get back into it. Bit of a late strike call there, but nonetheless a strike for Geis, and the count has run full at 3-2. There we go. Inning is correct. Now we are ready for action on this stream. Payoff pitch already for the first batter of the game. Ragland sends it right to George Smith for a weak line out and out, number 1. Corey Williams coming in after that weak line out from Ragland. Story of 2 different games for him, the Friday and Saturday games. 1 for 5 with a big 2 RBI hit as a part of that 6-run inning. As for the Saturday game, it was a rough one for him. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. First pitch on the way. Outside corner, called strike. Williams playing in right field in today's game, was in center field in yesterday's game, and he pops this one out to shallow right center field, and a little bit tricky tracking that with the shadow and the sun, but Brian Sanders able to track it for out number 2. Leo Paredes digs into the box looking for a little 2-out rally here to get things started in this ball game. Paredes 1 for 4 on Friday, or in Friday's game, I should say. Did not make a start in yesterday's game. Geis's first pitch misses low for a ball. We've talked about it before in these evening games we've had. Thankfully, we're starting an hour later than we usually do in the evening, so might not be as much of a factor, but we've seen that shadow line really affects the play of these infielders and outfielders when that ball is in the air. Really tough to track, and we've seen uncharacteristic errors made in previous games. Guys came back with a strike there on pitch number 2. Pitch number 3 is called a ball. Well, if this at-bat keeps on going, we'll work through that Fresno A's lineup and see who's playing where. And that's swing and a miss, strike 2. Trying to work through that lineup real quick, the defensive lineup at least. Geis on the mound. Isaac Fernandez behind the plate over to first. Ethan Woods second. Brian Sanders, shortstop. George Smith, third base is Jacob Maynor. Moving out to the outfield, Mikey Ramirez in left. Tyson Miller in center. Luke Ree out in right. And Geis with another ball to get his second full count in just 3 batters. Middle infielders for the A's playing really deep here, actually. As the payoff pitch is on the way, it's fouled to the right side and out of play. So it's been 2 up, 2 down so far. Of course, Geis 1 ball away from issuing his first free pass of the game. Either way, though, the Anchors are able to eat some pitches here early on. Another payoff pitch on the way. Geis rings him up on the outside corner, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Geis and the A's on defense, and they'll come up for their first at-bats in the bottom of the first. Back with the bottom of the first, and A's digging in for their first at bats. None other than Tyson Miller leading things off for the A's. It is his pretty much everyday role with this squad, and he has done a great job of it, getting lots of base hits so far in this series. 2 for 4 in a start on Friday. First pitch is chopped to the right side. It's a slow dribbler. Going to be tough to get Miller, and he won't. Well, Miller just showing why he is so dangerous to get on base there. Even with weakly hit balls, he could use speed to get to first base. Does so there. Leadoff base hit. Leadoff base runner for the Athletics. Great energy coming from the Athletics dugout with that leadoff looper of a ground ball base hit there. And George Smith coming in looking to move Miller around those base paths. Ordinarily, we talk about base hit to the outfield could score somebody from second, but with this guy on the base paths, it could easily be from first. Smith ahead of that first pitch, fouled down the left side. Smith, another great hitter for this Athletics team. Was a rough one on Friday for him, though, 0 for 4. As for Saturday, much improved, 2 for 3, 2 runs, and an RBI. Ball misses outside there to Smith. Pitcher on the mound is Caleb Garrison for the Anchors. And as we work our way around the field, Cam Imberg back behind the dish. Started there Friday, had the day off yesterday. Pitch in there called ball. Brandon Lister over at first base. He's been the cleanup hitter for the first 2 games. Now in the 5-hole today. Smith pops this one in the air. Could be an out, and it is. Lister able to track that one down. Had to move back to his right a little bit, but in time for out number 1. So just to finish off that lineup around the horn, second base, Kai Gullickson. Shortstop, Paul Wagner. Third base, Leo Paredes. Moving to the outfield, Angus Elias. Left field, center field, Zach Ragland. And the right fielder, Jafari Williams. As for the new batter, it's Mikey Ramirez, but Ramirez will have to wait a little bit longer as Garrison checks on Miller at first base. First pitch to Ramirez starts him out with a ball. Looked to be pretty close to touching that zone, to be fair, but 1-0. Ramirez, another great hitter for the Athletics, but this series a little bit cold with the bat. 1 for 7 across 2 games. Does have an RBI hit, though, and has scored a run. Finds himself ahead in this at-bat so far, 2-0. We'll keep an eye on Miller to see when he decides to go. Seems just about every time he gets on base, he looks to swipe bases. There he goes, right on command and down to second base. It's not in time. Tyson Miller with a stolen bag, and he's now in scoring position. We talked about Miller could score from first base on a base hit to the outfield, but no problemo on a base hit to the outfield from second base. Mikey Ramirez looking to do just that in a hitter's count, 2-1, now 2-2 as he fouls this to the first base side. So 2 down, Ethan Wood is the batter of this inning to get Miller in here. As mentioned, RBI leader on the team, thrives in these situations, and A's would certainly like him to do that yet again in this spot to lead off things in this game. First pitch to Wood. It looks like he was behind that one, swinging a miss, 0-1. In regards to Wood this series, good for him overall. 3 for 4 in yesterday's game, was just hitting it all over the place. And, of course, cashing in those RBIs. This is through the 3-4 hole, base hit. And here comes Miller around to score. Throw is... looks like he's out, or they call an interference. Interference is called on the catcher, Imberg, and it's going to count as a run. Imberg is beside himself with the call, and the Anchors manager is going to give the home plate umpire a bit of a piece of his mind as well, looking for an explanation as to what happened. Imberg was in the line of play for Tyson Miller. It all depends on when he got the ball, though, to establish himself in the running lane. Looked like Miller was having to sidestep around him before he had the ball, or right when the ball hit the mitt. Meantime, though, it is going to be an RBI single for Ethan Wood. Looks like it might stand here. And it is official. That's the first run of this game. RBI single from Ethan Wood. We mentioned RBI leader on the team. He shows just why there. Cashes in Miller from second base. All right, 2 down, Ethan Wood at first now after the RBI single. Luke Reed, the right fielder, digs in with the hope to move Ethan Wood around the bases. First pitch there, strike, 0-1. Reed, good week for him, 1 for 4 and a run in a game played on Friday. This is another pop-up, and it's going to be out number 3. Cam Imberg able to trap it, and that'll do it for the bottom of the first. So, curiously enough there, all 3 outs for the A's at-bats come in foul ground pop-ups, but they're able to make good on the leadoff hit from Tyson Miller. He scores on a runner's interference, or catcher's interference, I should say. A's up 1-0 as we head to the second. Coming back with the top of the second, Mr. Navote, thanks for tuning in, especially with being on the East Coast. I know that is not a early night baseball game for you. And Mrs. Crystal, good evening to you. I did notice that the bit rate for the internet was slow there, but it looks like it's resolved and good to go now. Sure hope it was playing smoothly during that exciting play at home. Looks like we might be having a bit of issues yet again. Apologies for that. I'm closer to the stadium Wi-Fi source, so theoretically wouldn't have too much issues there, but we'll just have to see throughout the game. Geis starts out this top of the second with the ball in the dirt, skips away from Fernandez for ball 1. So both pitchers worked through 15 pitches through their first inning of action. Geis starts his second inning with a chopper to Ethan Wood. It gets through the 3-4 hole for a base hit. Leadoff hit here for the Anchors, just what they need in response to an early deficit, although just one run. Kelvin Jones with the leadoff single. He's the DH for the Anchors. And the first baseman, Brandon Lister, in the box. As mentioned, he's been the cleanup hitter Friday, Saturday games, but today, one spot down in the lineup. First pitch from Geis, down low in the zone, called strike 0-1. Lister 2 for 8, Friday and Saturday action with an RBI and a run. Did he go? Infield umpire says no, 2-1. 1-1, I do believe. My apologies. Be interesting to see how this game works out for both sides. Friday was about the Anchors making the most out of their opportunities, as the Athletics left 10 runners on base in that game. As for yesterday's game, the Athletics were able to make the most out of their opportunities, and Anchors left runners on base at a higher clip. Although, to be fair, the Athletics left the bases loaded an astonishing 3 times, which is already 9 runners left on base there. 1-2 pitch on the way to Lister, taken outside, 2-2. Guy's taking a couple peeks at first, comes home. This one's chopped to George Smith, throws it on to second. Out is called there, so they get the force out, but too late to even attempt to go to first. So that's a fielder's choice. Kelvin Jones out at second. Lister will take over his place at first. Paul Wagner digs in as the third batter this inning. First pitch he takes for a ball. The shortstop for the Anchors, 1 for 7 in the series, did score once. 1-0 to Wagner, fouled into the screen. A lot of cheering and noise coming from the Hanford Little Leaguers here. Awesome to see their support, and we are certainly happy to have them here to hang out with the Athletics. Geis gets set now with his 1-1 count, taking a peek at first, comes home, gets past Fernandez. That's going to easily be second base for Lister. And in between there, between whether it's a wild pitch or pass ball, I reckon that would be a wild pitch. Hard chance there for Fernandez to try and stop it. But regardless, it results in a runner at second. 2-1 count to Wagner. This one's popped up in the air and looks like it's going to get out of play behind the Athletics dugout. Yeah, I could see we could still might have some internet issues. Sorry here, folks. Hopefully it's going to resolve itself as time goes on. Could end up being one of those situations where I have to reestablish the stream and this one, start a new one. Let's go ahead and keep me informed on if it is a chronic issue for this stream or if things end up improving. Sometimes it likes to improve and then go right back to it instead of going for a long run of good quality. This one hangs up just enough for Reed to get a hold of. Crow hops it into George Smith to make sure Lister is going nowhere. 2 down for the Anchors. Pass falls on Kai Gullickson now to try and drive in that first run for the Anchors. Ethan Wood was able to do so with a 2-out RBI of himself. Gullickson would like to do the same. This one's fouled into the seats, third base side. It's quick 0-1 advantage here for Geis versus Gullickson. Pitch on the way. Tries to go outside with it, doesn't get the call. 1-1. Gullickson 1 for 4 on the series and has scored twice. 1-1 pitch onto him, and home plate umpire calls a swinging strike himself. 1-2. One strike away from getting out of this little jam for Geis. Taking a peek over at lead, but nobody's threatening to cover. Comes home, rings him up, starts or finishes off the second inning just like he finished off the first inning. Punch out looking, and the Anchors leave Lister on second base. They're still scoreless. A's coming up for their bats in the bottom half of the second. Eight batters for the Athletics. First pitch fouled away by Jake Maynor. Mr. Wood, thanks for your inputs. It very well may end up being that I'll have to try and reestablish connection and restart the stream. Very unfortunate and just very strange in general why every now and then we'll just have a stream that does not want to cooperate, especially with me being a lot closer to the press box, which is where I get the Wi-Fi from. So if things don't improve substantially here soon, probably we'll do it at the end of the bottom of the second inning. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and call this bottom of the second inning. Maynor takes a ball there after two straight strikes, 1-2 to count to him. As for Maynor's weekend series, I should say, against the Anchors, 1 for 5 and has scored twice. 1-2 pitch to him, rings him up, looked like it was right down the pipe. Maynor likely looking for off speed and gets the fastball blown by. First strikeout for Garrison, one down in the second. Isaac Fernandez, the catcher, digs in with one down. Curiously enough, all three strikeouts in this game with both pitchers combined. Geis 2, Garrison with that first there. All looking. First pitch to Fernandez, called strike. This one chopped at, and it goes foul, rolling behind home plate just ever so slightly. 0-2 as Luke Nevode comes into view to fetch the foul ball. Vote the on-deck hitter. Just DH duties for him today. Typically used to him at third base. Curveball hit out to left field, but looks like it's going to hang up for out number 2. Good patience to swhack that one out to left field by Fernandez, but just finds the glove. Tue-Thu goes in with 2 down. Started Friday's game. Did not in yesterday's game. Friday's action 0 for 2 at the plate. Certainly not a bad first inning of work for Garrison, but looking for a better inning of work here. Chance to go 3 up, 3 down against the Athletics as he starts out in the vote with a strike. The 0-1 take in for a ball looked to be down low, 1-1. Garrison comes set after a long look for his sign, and Nevode fouls this one into the Kodiak Club on the right side, 1-2. Shadows are looking like they're going to become less of a factor here already, just in the bottom of the second. Buildings have that awesome golden hour shine in downtown Fresno, but that shadow line looks to be creeping just at the wall. Nevode hits this one down to third base line, but it goes left to third base for a foul ball. His college teammate, Brian Sanders, in the on-deck circle. And a little bit of delay here as a bench player for the Anchors goes to retrieve that foul ball. Now we're ready to go. Still 1-2 count here to Nevode. Garrison looking to get the job done. Curveball, weak little tapper to the shortstop. Wagner throws it on the run. Smooth play from him for out number 3. Good work from Garrison and the Anchors. 3 up, 3 down, and they'll be out back up to bat in the top of the third. All right. Top of the third, I noticed we're still having the connectivity issues. At least that's what it's showing with my bit rate on OBS. So, in between innings for this third inning, I will plan to shut down this stream and restart it to see if we'll be in better shape. In the meantime, we start out with Angus Elias for the Anchors, and he is down quickly in his first at-bat of the night, 0-2. Geis looking for a swing and a miss type pitch there, but misses that one way outside, probably due to release point. 1-2. Doesn't miss there, though. Catches the outside part of the plate, rings up Elias, and he'll take the strut back to the dugout. Strikeout out number one of this top of the third. And still the interesting trend continues into this top of the third. All strikeouts looking across both teams. So it's 8-9-1 for the Anchors. We saw 8 go down, look in. Now 9 is Cam Imberg, the catcher. First pitch, he swung at and missed there, 0-1. Imberg started Friday's game, 1 for 3 with a huge 3 RBI single. He chases out another one there, and he's down quick, 0-2. Getting back to Friday, Imberg's 3 RBI knock really put the game out of reach for the Athletics early on. It was 3-0 at that point. Then he ballooned it to 6-0. Yet another punch out looking. Imberg goes down on 3 straight, and he is just bewildered heading back into his nasty stuff right now. 4 strikeouts for him, all of the watching variety. First pitch there, the top of the lineup. It's Zach Ragland, the center fielder, 0-1 to him. Lined out weakly to shortstop George Smith. The 0-2 hole, here goes Ragland as he fouls this one behind the Athletics dugout. Geis looking for that final punch-out pitch. Oh, there it is! Holy smokes, Geis and the Athletics strike out the side looking. Boy, I don't know if I've seen that before. Striking out the side's one thing, but getting all of them looking. Geis is in his bag tonight, painting those corners. And he is through 3 innings of great work. So the Athletics will come up in the bottom of the third, looking to extend the lead. In the meantime, as mentioned, I am going to restart this stream. So keep a lookout for the next stream coming on.